Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Archie's Briefings. I'm your host, Arshel Branch, and today, you guys, we are going to talk about the hearing with the mayors, these Democrat mayors. I guess you can call it a reaction, if you will. Oh my goodness, every single time I listen to one of these ridiculous Democrats talk about why illegals should come before the American citizen, I just keep shouting at my cell phone screen, the television screen, just arrest these people. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But before we go ahead and do that, if you are new to the channel, I would like for you to take the time to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so that way you never miss an episode. And, I just want to say thank you to all the viewers and all the people who get into the comments. Even when we disagree, as long as everything stays respectable, then we're good to go. I don't mind engaging in the back and forth, and that's okay. We don't have to agree on everything. I've had my fill up to certain issues, and so that's why we talk about it here on the podcast. So again, you guys, we're going to be talking about the hearing with the mayors and just going through some of those clips. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's talk about that, shall we?
There is something that has been on my heart that I did want to discuss. Discipline is a huge part of being productive, being lucrative. I'm not for anything that goes against true productivity, true sovereignty of the individual. The choices that we make are what's going to be up for judgment.
All right, you guys. So as I said in the open, we are going to talk about these Democrat mayors. As I said, I get so fed up every single time I listen to them. I'm so tired of listening to the Democrats as to why we have to defend these illegals. They constantly want to prioritize these individuals over American citizens. They're non-citizens, okay? Why are we prioritizing them? Why are you spending all this money on them? So I am going to show you guys a couple of videos today from the hearing, as well as AOC's interview with NPR. The more I listen to this broad, the more I realize maybe Democrats shouldn't do these long long interviews, because they just show why they're not that intelligent. I just feel that we shouldn't have to be forced to listen to them. Obviously not forced, but ultimately I am going to show you guys that clip today because it's outrageous to me that we find ourselves in this situation. Now, as it relates to the hearings, it seems to me that every single time they are asked a question, I will say, with the exception of Eric Adams, you already know what I think about him. I think he's officially a puppet for the America First agenda. I'm for that. If he's going to be collateral damage in this confrontation with the Democrat governor specifically, but in this ongoing battle we have over illegal immigrants, well, I'm okay with that because I didn't like him when he was first, elected. I still don't really care for him. If he's going to follow the law, then that's great. You don't get an applause for doing the right thing. Okay, you're following the law. That's a good thing. You don't get applause for that. Okay, I don't get applause for being a law-abiding citizen. You just, you should just automatically feel good about yourself for being a good person. But, listen, however he gets there, if he got there, I don't care if he's collateral damage. But as for the rest of these Democrat mayors, oh my goodness, you ask them a question about how much money is being used, how many illegals have actually come into your state, what types of resources have been made available, are you using NGOs and other state resources to cover the cost of these things? And they just don't want to answer questions. And Democrats, again, losing their minds, prioritizing government corruption as if they care about any of that, right? When it comes to Eric Adams and AOC, just the back and forth, losing their minds, getting thrown out of the room because you don't know how to behave, you don't know how to act. It's, answer the questions. Why haven't you come prepared? You knew you were going to be here. We've known for how many days now that you were going to have this hearing and you're not bringing the answers to the table?
Tell the truth! What do you see?
And so the first thing I'm going to show you guys is one of the clips. It's with Byron Donalds. I thought he was masterful. I look at Byron Donalds and I'm like, that's the future governor of Florida. Just, side note on that one. We are going to talk about that later down the line. But love me some Byron Donalds. I think he's a great representative. I wish I had something like that for a governor here in Pennsylvania. I'm stuck with Josh Shapiro trying to save federal jobs and all the rest of that. Oh gosh, Pennsylvania. So anyhow, I do want to show you guys a clip with Byron Donalds because I thought he was absolutely masterful. And he had the exact frustration that I think a lot of us America First, and not just America First, I think every American citizen has, especially if you are living in a Democrat-ran city. I'm not, thank the Lord, but living in a Democrat city that they just continuously prioritize these illegals. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's run that clip first, shall we? All right, guys, so this is the first clip I wanted to show you with Byron Donalds. I'm not going to show the whole thing because if you can see at the bottom, it says it's 5 minutes and change. We're not going to go over the whole thing. It's just going to be a couple of questions that he asked, a few of them. So let's just go ahead and let's run that, shall we?
Did you get upset? Mayor Johnston, coming back to you, how much did your city spend on illegal immigration? Do you have a round number?
Over the last couple of years on all newcomers, whatever their status was, it's around $79 million since 2022.
79 million. Mayor Johnson, Chicago. How much has the city of Chicago spent on illegal immigration?
If you're referring to the 2022 up to 2024 of the buses coming from Texas,
Figures,
roughly the
numbers.
same percentage of the state of Texas, about 1% of our overall budget.
What is that? Because we don't have the city's budget in front of me. Numbers.
It's 1%, and if you want the actual calculation, we can make sure someone.
You're the mayor. You don't have the math in front of you.
It's 1% of the overall budget over the
All
last
right, that's
4
why
years,
you're a failing
which
mayor.
is
Mayor
the same
Adams,
number that
how
was
much did
sent
the city
from
of
us
New
from
York
the
actually
state
spend
of
on
Texas.
illegal immigration? Mayor Johnson,
Okay, before I let him go, I just want to say, awesome. That's a man right there. Just no nonsense. That's why you are a failing mayor. It's like word. Just come out swinging. We're not playing these games. You're a failing mayor. On to the next guy.
I already asked you, you don't have a hard number. And if you don't have a hard number, you're not running your city well. Mayor Adams, how much did the city of New York actually spend on illegal immigration?
6.9 billion of taxpayers.
$6.9 billion of taxpayer money on a problem that was fostered on the American people. Mayor Wu, in the city of Boston, how much did you spend?
We don't ask about immigration status and delivering city
You don't
services,
ask
so
about
we
how
don't
much
have
money
that
the city of Boston has spent on illegal immigration.
We
Are
don't
you out of your
distinguish
mind?
between immigration status.
Do you
as
manage
part
your
of our
budget
city
or not,
policies.
Mayor Wu?
That is how we keep our
Mayor
city
Wu,
safe.
do you manage
We
your
have
budget
the
or not?
numbers to prove it. I manage my budget. I have a AAA bond rating dating back 10 years.
So to the city of Boston,
budget.
just understand that your mayor does not care how much of your resources she has spent on people who are not citizens
The city of Boston
the city of
is
Boston.
sick of having people
reclaiming my
outside
time.
Boston.
Mic drop. Mic drop. That's all that's got to be said. Okay, so what do we know from this? They're showing up and they don't have numbers in front of them. She doesn't know how many of the citizens that are in the state who are actual citizens or in her city, Boston, how many of them are actually citizens, how many of them are not citizens. But people are getting the help, though. We're spending money on people who actually need help. We don't know who to differentiate or how to differentiate the citizen from the non-citizen. We just know that there are a lot of people in the city who are asking for help. So I just don't know those numbers. Seems a bit deliberate to me. Like, I think she wants plausible deniability. I'm going to come out of this clip right here because I think that sums that up. So that's the end of this one. I just absolutely loved that clip with Byron Donalds. I thought he was forceful. I thought that is everything, that is all the frustration that I have, that the American people have. And you don't need to be a conservative. You don't have to be a Republican. Okay. You don't have to be none of those things to have the same outrage. There are a lot of Democrats out in Chicago who are fed up with the illegals being prioritized. I mean, she doesn't know how to differentiate the citizen from the non-citizens. Also, in that hearing, you guys, they were asked directly, are you giving illegals driver's licenses? I can tell you for certain, for a fact, that in New York, they are doing this, okay? Governor Hochul has issued licenses. They were also asked, have you allowed illegals to vote in elections? And of course, they don't know how to differentiate the citizen from the non-citizen, which is a yes, right? The conservatives pretty much made it clear. So that's a yes to all of it. You're giving them driver's licenses, which is call spade. If you've got a license, if you've got a vehicle, you can sign up for the gig economy, and that takes opportunity away from the American citizen who is trying to do the same thing. But y'all want to take away opportunities from the guy who said no to the fat lady trying to get in the car. They're voting in our elections because he doesn't know the difference. The mayor of Chicago, he has no idea if a citizen versus a non-citizen, who's voting, who's not voting, they have no idea. The Boston mayor has no clue how to differentiate the citizen from the non-citizen when it comes to how much money is being spent in the city. And your citizens, your people are saying, get rid of them.
All right, you alien assholes.
Okay. And these Democrats, they get in there, and I'm going to show you guys a clip of a Democrat congresswoman just losing her mind over this. Oh, as a survivor of sexual assault, she says, okay, I'm sorry that you had your trauma, but if you are under the impression that somehow whatever trauma you suffered, whatever trauma an American citizen dishes out onto other American citizens, that somehow that justifies the violent criminals in our country, what did you think you were going to get out of this? This is not okay. This is not okay. So I'm going to go ahead, you guys. I'm going to run that clip with this ridiculous congresswoman who's just ridiculous. So before I say anything, let me just go ahead and let me run that clip for you guys. Okay, let's go ahead and let's run that, shall we? All right, you guys. So this is the clip with Representative Presley. I don't really care to know which state she is. I think when they're ridiculous, I just don't really care to know what state she represents. I feel sorry for the people that have her as a representative. And if they are voting for her, I mean, you know, priorities, people, priorities. It always comes back down to priorities. But I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna let it run, and then we'll talk about that afterwards. Go ahead, let's run it.
Mr. Chairman, I have unanimous consent request. Mr. Chairman, I have unanimous consent request. Proceed.
I'd like to seek unanimous consent to enter into the record this article, and I'll do this as a survivor of sexual violence myself. This is from Courts, March 2018.
Without objection, so ordered.
Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born
Without objection, so ordered. We put it in the record.
I have an internet.
You have what?
Mr. Chair, can I have several articles. I need to enter them. Let me just go ahead with what the articles are. What they speak to.
What's the next article?
Let me proceed. Data from Texas shows that U.S.-born Americans commit more rape and murder than immigrants.
Listen, this trend of you all trying to get thrown out of committee so you can get on MSNBC is going to end. We're not going to put up with it.
This is my procedural right as a member of this committee.
You can go with Mr. Frost and Mr. Green.
I'm reclaiming my time.
That's what you want. No. Ms. Presley, I've been very accommodating to you. Mr. Subrajan,
and I take particular umbrage as a survivor of sexual violence. I will enter into the record. This is my right. Thank you.
No. It is Mr. Subrajan.
Mr. Chair.
No, you know the process of unanimous consent. You are not recognized.
I have several articles to enter into the record.
So
Mr.
then,
Subrajan, if you don't go, we're going to recognize Mr. Timmons.
like, you guys, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm reclaiming my time. No. Enter them into the enter them into the record. You want to say, I have all these things, I have unanimous consent, but then you want to read from it, not enter it. I think she just thinks that the American people are stupid. I really think that. I genuinely believe that they think that all this filibustering is the case here. And don't get me wrong, I think conservatives can be guilty of this as well. We've seen this on the right as well. I think people on the right could be just as guilty as this as well. So it could just be my bias speaking that I'm laughing. I didn't mean to well, no. I didn't mean to laugh, okay? It was the fact that she was in a screaming match and he's saying no. It felt like she's a child. Like, yo, calm down, bring your emotions to, reasonable.
Shut up!
I'm going to show you guys the clip with AOC having this interview with NPR. This should tell you a couple of things. Number one, I don't think she's too bright. I don't think she's smart. I really don't. I really don't think she's smart. I think she got into office, by default. The incumbent didn't show up for the debate, and that's how she got in there. She knocked on doors, but she was a bartender. I think she probably makes a good Cosmo, maybe, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to war, when it comes to budgeting, the budget, when it comes to sovereignty, the Constitution. I don't think this woman knows what she's doing. I just don't think she does. Now, I'm not saying everybody got to be a genius to be in office, okay? You don't got to be a genius to be in office. That is not what the founders had intended, okay? You could be an everyday citizen. You could be the bartender who runs for office, but you have to, at the very least, have an understanding of what sovereignty is and what citizenship means, and that it shouldn't be a debate about what birthright citizenship should be applied to or who it should be applied to. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to show you guys this clip with AOC because that should just tell you everything you need to know about these Democrats in office and just period about government, period. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's run that clip, shall we? Okay, this is the clip here with AOC and the NPR. I'm just going to let him ask the questions. Go ahead. Let's run it, shall we?
If that's the right word, with Tom Homan, the president's Homeland Security czar, so-called. You held an online forum, a Know Your Rights forum, that he didn't like. What were you doing? What was your goal as you saw it?
My job is to educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents. And I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections, and in particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States.
Holman was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents. Yeah.
I'm going to leave it there. I was giving legal advice to all of my constituents. It's no different than how the mayors played it, right? I provide services to all the citizens, to all people who need help. These are people, we are a welcoming state. This is a deliberate tactic to tell their, voters, people who like them, people who are voting for them, that I'm providing aid to all people, to anyone who needs it, not differentiating between who the citizen is and who the illegal is. This is the problem. I was informing them about what their constitutional liberties are. No. The Constitution applies to the United States, okay? Constitutional liberties and freedoms are given to Americans, not Guatemalans, not Mexicans, not Chinese immigrants, okay? I'm talking illegal immigrants because we got the Chinese coming in here too, okay? We're not supposed to be giving all of these civil liberties, okay, and all the benefits that come with being an American to illegals. She annoys me. I don't think she's smart at all this. And I was just giving information to all of my constituents. I don't differentiate between who's a citizen, who's a non-citizen. I don't know how much money was coming in to take care of the illegals because we just don't differentiate between the humans. We want to help all humans in my city. They're not doing this out of the kindness, out of their heart. And I just really want people to understand that. And I think as America First, we understand this. If you are someone who's new to the channel, you're a Democrat, you are a liberal, you agree with this nonsense, you're getting in the comments and you're going to say why you think there's something wrong with me. Yeah, no. I don't understand why this is even a debate. Yet you've got American citizens who will sit here and justify having illegals in this country like this isn't an issue. Just arrest these people.
I'm coming for all of you.
This is the point. Anytime you see a government official, I don't care if they are local to the federal, okay? If they are defending illegals, they got to go. If they are defending the position of the government, they got to go. These people want to harm the American people because they're letting us die. They're having us work extra hard to make sure these illegals are taken care of. And they're allowing these illegals to be treated like the new slave class. And that should tell you something about their morals. And you shouldn't be surprised because the Democrats are the party of slavery. So you guys get in the comment sections and let me know what you think about all of this. This episode, again, went on a little longer than I expected, but it's just something that needed to be said because this is outrageous. And it irked me every single time. They had no answers. And it was deliberate. You deliberately came here with no answers because you don't want to be under oath caught in a lie. So I'm just not going to learn this information. I'm not going to do my homework. So I'm not lying. Okay, we got you on gross negligence, though. And tell me why this isn't treason. So that's just absolutely ridiculous. You guys, again, get into the comment sections and let me know. It is very hard to be cheery about this, but I'm going to stay the happy warrior that I can be. You know, I will try. We shall see as this goes on forward. I'm hoping for some arrests. Let's get it, Tom. Let's get it, Pam Bondi. Let's get it, Kash Patel. Let's get it, President Trump. America First. Let's get it going. I want arrests. And if you guys are a subscriber to the channel, chances are so do you. So again, thank you all for watching. You guys can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Archie Financial. You can support the show by Cash Apping me at #RShellBranch. The link to the Cash App is in the bio of my YouTube channel. So just scroll to the top and it's right there at the top, the link anyhow. Thank you all again for watching. God bless, good night, and Kepla.